Good morning, mamas. It is the morning of the Stratford first full marathon. That's not what it's called, that's just what I'm calling it. And I'm about to set off. It is about 7 o'clock in the morning, but I just wanted to go through three things on Marm's Garms this morning. One, I'm going to be running in a brand new pair of Nike Pegasus. These are called Tokyos, and just in case you're wondering, these were on sale in January. Can't think why. Secondly, I am wearing a new beanie hat courtesy of my friend Cameron Salim, Managing Director of Motorserve UK, home of the £50 MOT. Thanks for that, Cam, running in honour of you today. No, not really, just wearing your hat. And third and finally, nothing can replace the tan jumper, and nothing ever will. But this morning my wife has donated this beauty. It is a lady's black jumper with some beautiful frill details to keep me warm at the start, and I can't help but do this. In fact, actually, so good morning, on the way to Stratford, and like honestly, I'm not putting this on, I get ridiculously nervous. This one in particular I'm ridiculously nervous about because I know this course. This is my favourite half marathon it was. I've run it a few times, and so I know it, so I know exactly how long I've got to finish. And there's this little bit where they direct you down this sort of like cycleway, and once you get to that, you're basically home and clear. You know that you've done. But it gets to this point, and there's loads of people stood on the side throwing sweets at you and all this sort of stuff in a good way. But there's this point that I've always looked at, where there's been a right and a left fork, or a left and a right fork, and there's an old guy from the Rotary Club, and he goes, half marathon runners that way, right marathon runners that way, because he's Zippy from Rainbow. Oh well, George, half marathon runners that way. Oh, Zippy, are you sure? How did I get to that? Right, so it's half marathon runners that way, full marathon runners that way. And I have always looked at that and gone, oh, good God, could you imagine? And that, I think, is going to be the most demoralising part of it. I don't know mentally how I'm going to get through that. To actually have to then do it all again, I'm not sure how I'm going to cope with that. Well, I'll let you know, because I'm going to probably try and video. I don't normally video during races, A, because I'm either being ridiculously competitive about my time, B, just because I can't be bothered. But I think on this one I'm going to try to, because I've got a feeling I might have to walk in places, and if I do, we'll have a bit of a chat on the way round. I'm also a bit nervous because it's the first time I've driven the car since my caravan trip of a few days ago, where, and this is the first time I've admitted this to anyone outside the front section of the car, I murdered a pheasant. This pheasant just basically minced straight across my path. There was safety everywhere, and it literally chose to run directly under the wheels of my car. Now, I was pulling a caravan, and anybody will tell you that if you pull in a caravan, you cannot brake suddenly. It is a complete catastrophe should you do so. So I didn't brake at all. I just let fate take over. There was a small thud, fortunately unnoticed by the children. I'm hoping they don't watch this far into the video. And a sort of look of panic between me and my wife. We obviously I tried to put it out of my mind until we got back to the caravan park, and where I checked the front of the car. And just put it this way, you wouldn't have needed a forensic policeman to have worked out who the culprit was. It was literally like somebody had thrown a crate of feathered tomatoes at the front of my car. I absolutely obliterated it, unfortunately. But it sort of kind of made me laugh, because every time we used to see a pheasant when I was out driving with my family, my dad always used to do this thing where he used to say, oh, a present of a pheasant, how very, very pleasant. Well, it's kind of the reverse of that this time. It wasn't pleasant at all, certainly not for the pheasant. And my present to it was death. Anyway, so look, here I am. I am not going to head towards the start, because there's some people there, a lot of people. Here is a running club. My nemesis, running clubs, not a fan. But yeah, so on the way round, normally I've got my running playlist. This time around, I think it would be churlish to listen to, you know, sort of speed, garage and grime as I normally do. And this time I think I'm going to actually educate myself. I've got an audio book on the life of Shakespeare, which apparently is 4 hours long, which should be just enough. So I'm going to listen to that all the way around. You know, there's no point. Always learning, always a chance to educate yourself. One of the things I read actually was the fact that all of this might be slightly embarrassing because they reckon that half of Shakespeare's stuff he didn't actually write himself. And the reason that they know that is because most of his family could only sign their name using a cross or a mark. And Shakespeare himself, his first recorded signature is a mark. He left school at 14. Right, now all of a sudden they're expecting us to believe that he's got a vocabulary of 29,000 words from a man who could only write his name with an X. So he may well not have actually written half the plays that he's credited for. And if that's the case, then all of this could be for nothing. All of this could be a little bit embarrassing. And actually, although as much as I like Stratford, part of me kind of hopes that they sort of do uncover some evidence which suggests it wasn't him at all, because behind me is the Royal Shakespeare Theatre, and how lovely would it be one Christmas to come here and watch Puss in Boots with Shane Ritchie. It wouldn't be the RSC then, it'd be something like, I don't know, the Palace, something a bit down market like that, maybe. Because Shakespeare's dad, look, and it's more than possible, because Shakespeare's dad was nothing special. He was a glove maker, and Shakespeare himself at school was apparently no great shakes, if you'll pardon the pun. Apparently, actually, he got real behavioural problems, that to his dad in particular. That's treating with kid gloves. Just a joke. This particular road is called Sheep Street by all accounts, right? And a couple of days ago, to shut this down so that Dame Judi Dench and Sir Kenneth Branagh could be given the freedom of the city. Now, apparently what that means is that they could, if they wish to, stop the traffic on any given day and walk their sheep through Stratford town centre, which apparently they did. Now, part of me wishes, and I've got a feeling that Dame Judi's a bit of a character, that her and Ken sort of got together and as a prank decided to walk sheep down at rush hour on Monday morning when the schools go back. See how funny it is then.
We will have the District Governor of Rotary District at 10:60, who will be having a few words.
Now here's this dreadful point I told you about, where half marathon runners go left, full marathon runners go right. And I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it. Grab some water. Morning, morning. Thank you. Hey. Come on, Tim. Cheap. It's a middle-aged running man. Oh, legends! So, this is it. This is it. Oh no. And I go left, and they go to the finish. Oh. Now, this is a test.
You've done amazing. You rock.
In the home of the bard, I have proved myself a bard ass. Right, that's the marathon done, but never, ever, 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 ever again. That was appalling. Anyway, like, subscribe, do whatever. Song for the playlist, bizarrely, is Miley Cyrus, Midnight Sky. Good old Miley, 26 Miley. And Cyrus? No idea. Either way, like, subscribe, do whatever.